Episode is brought to you by Sigmatic, a wellness company that is known for its delicious mushroom coffee. That's right, I've been drinking mushroom coffee for the first time my entire life this week, and I love it. Now, Sigmatic's mushroom coffee is real, organic, fair trade, single origin Arabica coffee. That's right. With lion's mane mushroom for productivity and chaga mushroom for immune support. So, in case you've been wondering, I've been starting my day with Sigmatic's ground mushroom coffee with lion's mane instead of regular coffee, and I love how it helps me focus so I can get shit done. It's amazing, and I absolutely feel an uptick in my productivity every time I drink it. It helps me focus like nothing else. Mushroom coffee is easy on my gut and doesn't leave me with that awful jittery feeling or midday crash. All 4 Sigmatic products are organic, vegan, and gluten-free. Plus, every single batch is third-party lab tested to ensure its purity and safety, so you know you're getting the highest quality coffee and mushrooms possible. Now, you're probably thinking, does this coffee taste like mushrooms? I can guarantee it tastes like the coffee that you love. It brews dark and nutty and tastes incredible. And over 20,000 5-star reviews, and best of all, Sigmatic backs their products with a 100% money-back guarantee. Love every sip or get your money back. Now, we've worked out an exclusive offer with Sigmatic on their best-selling mushroom coffee, but this is just for Reality and SFW listeners. So get up to 40% off plus free shipping on mushroom coffee bundles. To claim this deal, you must go to sigmatic.com/survivor. This offer is only for Reality and SFW listeners and is not available on their regular website. Once again, save up to 40% and get free shipping. So go right now to FOURSIGMATIC.com/survivor. They love it when we use that. And fuel your productivity and creativity with some delicious mushroom coffee.
Welcome back to Reality NSFW and our coverage of the Challenge Double Agents. We're talking episode 7 tonight. As always, I'm Zack Hacker, joined by Jonny Fairplay and Roda, and we have a special guest tonight. We have Lio Rush. Lio, how are you doing?
Yeah.
How you doing? I'm doing pretty good. I'm holding up pretty good.
Also, hey, so did you take time away from cutting another video with you and Jay and Joseph to do this, or is it, or are we one and done on the music videos?
No, that was a pretty cool last minute thing that we were able to do, and I'm glad that we did it because it seems like a lot of people enjoyed it. So, yeah.
Hell yeah, I love it.
Well, I mean, where did that come from?
Joseph. I feel like he's been kind of traveling a little bit and meeting up with a lot of the people who left the challenge house, and he's making his weekly YouTube vlog. So he just so happened to stop by in LA, and me and Jay live out here, and he said that he wanted to meet up. We all decided to go to a music studio, and while we were there, Joseph and Jay were just like, we should make like a challenge anthem. We were like, all right, and then we ended up right into a beat that we that we were listening to, and Joseph had a couple of days left here, and he was like, man, we should do a music video to this. So we literally planned to get up super early in the morning and shoot for it, and we did all of that in less than 24 hours, which was pretty cool.
Wow.
Can I just say something? I said to them, I was like, the amount of people that actually shared that video just goes to show how cool you guys are, because like obviously people like you. You're not going to share someone's stuff if like you're like so it's just like such an ode to like both of you as people, and I feel like we got such a I loved both of you. Like I thought it was just like it came across so genuine. Like I loved it.
Thanks. Yeah, that was pretty cool to see everybody like you said, share and and retweeted, and we didn't even expect to do that song. So I'm glad that it's getting the attention that it has.
Yeah, let's go viral. Everyone, if you haven't listened yet, go listen to it and share it and save it. If you save someone's picture and also like it, you also boost their algorithm. So if you have friends out there, guys, not only like, also save. Word to the wise on a Thursday.
if only MTV showed music videos.
Oh.
if only you had there was just some kind of platform, like a station called Music Television. I don't know.
No, Leo, Ashley was telling us that you were doing some music in the house. Is that?
Who was saying that?
Ashley Mitchell came on last week, and she was telling us that when she first met you, you were like doing a biographical rap.
Oh, I don't know if she was there for. I wrote like a poem that they didn't air, but yeah, I wrote a little something right before I left the house, and it was, I guess, some people thought it was like a rap song or whatever, but there was, I think Michi was making people sing in the house because Michi sings too, and he just kept like doing like random riffs here and there, and just made everybody start singing the same song every day. So yeah, I was kind of quiet, but I would bust out like a little thing every once in a while, and people were a little shocked by it. So yeah.
Leo, I was on a show with Michi, so I know what you talk, like what you're saying about the riffs. And it's funny when you're on a show with a bunch of people who can sing or are like talented in that way. All they need is like one little inkling, and I swear to God, it's like a musical all of a sudden. Yeah. So for someone like myself who is not talented in that way, it's
and it was weird because obviously we weren't listening to the radio. We couldn't have our phone. So if somebody sang a song, that's the only song that we're hearing. So now everybody's singing that same song like throughout the house. So it was pretty fun.
Oh, I love it.
So I would be remiss if I didn't ask you, but both of us having the professional wrestling backgrounds, Lio Rush, you were in the Super J Cup, brother.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was really cool. I'm glad that I was able to be a part of that.
Amazing match with ELP. You didn't get the victory. However, you had the best outfit of anyone in the Super J Cup. So does that count more? That's the way I consider my wins and losses in professional wrestling, my outfit.
I like to consider some style points every time I wrestle. So yeah, I think I got the W in that sense.
I have a question. Can I ask one?
Yeah.
Now that you've done both like the challenge and also, your wrestling career, in terms of like filming it, like what is the big difference for you? Because I personally, I thought for sure that like there's a big difference, and coming into that, I don't think anyone's truly prepared to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, the biggest difference is having a live camera on you. Well, not a live camera on you 24/7, but a camera on you 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
With wrestling, you're preparing and you're getting ready backstage, and you're getting yourself pumped up for that 10 to 20 minute segment that you might have for the night. And
fine tuning yourself.
Yeah. So that's the biggest difference for me. And then it was, for wrestling, you're watching yourself while you're at your most comfortable. But, I feel like with reality TV and the challenge, you're seeing yourself, vulnerable and uncomfortable and, just not
your best self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we just to finish up on the wrestling stuff, and there might be a little more spattered through. Can we expect to see more of you in New Japan? And if so, is Wrestle Kingdom 22 is that an in-game target?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I definitely think you're gonna see more of me in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think I'm making it pretty clear on social media that as far as wrestling is concerned, New Japan is somewhere that I really want to be. And
you post pictures of you in every promotion you've been. Is like, will I come back here? Will I come back here? And I feel a lot of that is trolling.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I like messing with the wrestling fans. I know they get pretty, excited. once they see a certain logo. So I like doing that sometimes.
Yeah, and also like let's all support our man. Like let's share that shit, put it out there, help it manifest, guys. It's 2021. Let's go.
Yeah. I'm loving it. So, all right, let's talk the challenge. We're gonna discuss last night's episode, but before we do, you leave on last week's episode, and what's going through your head? Because we had our interpretation. Like Marie's guessing that you potentially thought you were prepared for something like this because it's just like, hey, I've done the wrestling, it's the same deal. But as you mentioned, that camera's on you 10 to 20 minutes. You're at the building at noon. Like you're prepared for the long days, but you're at the building at noon and you're leaving at midnight. However, there's only a 10, 20 minute time frame of cameras, whereas reality television, they don't end.
Yeah. I think it was a big shock to me. Not more so like the camera stuff. I think I was expecting like cameras to be on me, all the time. But I think just there was a lot that I wasn't really prepared for. Like before, quarantining, I was training like a madman for like all the physical stuff, and I completely forgot that it was going to be, or not really understanding that it was going to be more of a mental game than anything. And with this being my season, I'm not really accustomed to how things work. Like I didn't know when I was going to be able to get that first phone call back home, and then when I did find out, I couldn't even tell my wife that, hey, you're going to be talking to me in 3 weeks. So she's at home sitting next to her phone, looking at it every 3 seconds, hoping that she doesn't miss the phone call. And I think that was a little tough for me to know that I was going to talk to her in 3 weeks, but she wasn't going to talk. She didn't know when I was calling.
So on my very first challenge, I didn't realize that when they take your phone away from you, they take your phone away from you. Like there is like, like you can't get in touch with anyone. So it's my first challenge, and I showed up and I took their phone away. And of course, I go out there, my mom's like very overprotective, like wants to know everything. And I just disappeared, and she figured out a way to find me through like, however she did. But, I had to get pulled over one day, like at the challenge, and they're like, hey, Marie, like, your mom's on the phone, like she wants to talk to you. And I was like so embarrassed. I was like, Mom, like this is what they do apparently. You get sucked in, and they tell you when you can make a 5-minute phone call, and I don't know when you should expect it. Like just you can't say anything to them. It's very hard.
Yeah. It definitely affected me, and it's such I won't say like a small thing, but it's just something that really isn't a part of the game, but it affected my gameplay so much.
Yeah.
I feel like if I would have known those little details and how the show, actually worked, then maybe I would have been a little bit more focused. Yeah.
Well, let me say this. There is something to be said about you stepping away from it. And I commend you for that, because a lot of people wouldn't let their ego do that. They don't feel comfortable stepping away from something, so they'll just continue to do it and put themselves in a weird situation. But if you don't find yourself in a happy place, remove yourself, and you're the only person that's living for you. And like, thank you for doing what you did. Like, I hope that like it was, listen, I'm sure that once you got out of there, you're like, thank God, because it's nuts in there. It really is. And I think it was awesome, because a lot of people, especially on this show, don't have the courage to do that. So
I think once I got home, I didn't really have that kind of like thank God moment. Actually, I think I was so confused. I was a little traumatized. I didn't know what just happened. I feel like me walking away was me realizing that I was in a situation that I was in before. I feel like like you said, a lot of people's egos might have not allowed them to walk away, but I feel like I've been in a position, probably with WWE, where I feel like I was in a bad place mentally, but I said, you know what, like, fuck it, I'm just gonna keep going, I'm just gonna stick it out, I'm gonna keep doing this. And then it ended up being horrible for me. So I didn't I didn't want to do that again with already having that experience.
Amen.
Yeah. So Leo, what is that process like? So you decide while you're filming that this is not the best thing for you. You need to step out. How do you go about leaving? How long does that process take with MTV?
Well, it was on my mind. I know that they aired it. It was like I just said, I'm leaving today, and that was the first time that I thought about it, and I just kind of packed up and left. But that wasn't really the case. It's kind of funny watching it back because I was like, damn, they made me seem like I kind of just made that decision that day. But no, I had some time to think about it, and I was talking to a few people in the house, and I even talked to a couple of the producers, and I would talk to like a cameraman if they were just kind of like sitting around, just making sure that I was making the right decision and I wasn't just going crazy from the game. But it took me a little less than 2 weeks to really understand why I was feeling the way that I was feeling, and if I made this decision, if I was gonna, I don't know, disappoint myself or disappoint people back at home or disappoint MTV. That's a big decision, especially when you're saying that you're gonna, stick it throughout the whole season and stuff like that. And, I didn't know if that was gonna put a bad taste in MTV's mouth, especially because I'm not one to stop doing something, so it was a rough decision to make.
Yeah, it seems like, I said last week, I thought they handled it pretty well and pretty respectfully. Do you feel the same? Like, I was glad to see you got a number of confessionals all the way up. Sometimes with shows, if someone decides to walk away, they'll just bury the character. But I thought you got a fair amount of airtime. How do you feel about the portrayal?
No, I liked it. I'm glad that I watched it, and I wasn't going to watch it at first because I didn't know how they were going to air it. I didn't know when I left. I didn't know what the other people in the house were going to say. I didn't know if TJ was going to be pissed. I didn't know. Well, I had no idea, and I was afraid to watch it, but I'm glad that I watched it back.
Well, it all goes back to you just being honest about it. Like everybody, there's not a lot of other people on the show that would remove themselves from a situation that they don't like. So yeah.
Did you have a continued conversation with TJ going into this and afterwards? Because we've seen TJ's stance in similar situations that aren't that positive at all. And so it seemed like there was a little more to the dynamic between the two of you guys.
Yeah, me and TJ, I feel like it was pretty cool. When I first met TJ, I feel like we kind of kept just looking at each other for whatever reason, but not really like saying anything. I feel like we kind of had like some weird connection, or he could tell that I really wanted to be there, and I was like pumped up and everything. And I think he was, excited to know that I was a professional wrestler, and he would ask me like questions here and there before we would get started with the challenge. And even when I left the house, I saw that he had followed me on Instagram, and I thought that was pretty cool. And he like messaged me and asked me if I was doing all right. So yeah, I had a really cool, I feel like, relationship with TJ.
Did you give TJ a flare chop or anyone else in the house a flare chop?
I gave Jay a flare chop. Yeah. Yeah. I also gave him a nice like forearm to the face. He wanted to see if they actually hurt. So yeah, he was feeling that.
Did he figure out?
Oh yeah, for sure. I actually ended up hurting his hand one day, and he was pretty messed up for like the rest of the week. So yeah, that was my fault.
Yeah, I used before I was in professional wrestling and before Survivor, I was Roddy Piper's personal assistant. And Roddy was trained this guy to be a wrestler, and he was like, "Let me see your punches, kid." And the guy was like, "Oh, I'm embarrassed by my punches, And he goes, "Fairplay's got good punches." I'm like, "This ain't about me." And Roddy's like, "Let me see your punches." I'm like, "Nah." And he's like, "I'm not asking you, I'm telling you." I'm like, "All right." So I do one. He's like, "It's pretty good." I was like, "Thanks." He goes, "Let me show you one of mine." I'm like, "Nah, we're good." He's like, "Come on." I'm like, "Nah." He goes, "I'm not asking you, I'm telling you." I'm like, "All right." Punches me. Top lip, bottom lip, pouring blood. He goes, "Did it look good?" I was like, It's pretty believable.
Yeah.
Roddy Piper. So, all right. So, did you watch last night's episode?
I did. Yeah,
Right.
I was able to catch it today, actually.
Sweet. Me too. So here we go. So the episode begins. How cool is this?
Wait, time out.
Yes.
Before we jump into the episode, could we just say how great the episode was?
Oh, it was a great one. My boy Devin came back to life. I got to see him again. Now
everyone had a great episode. Everyone had a great listen. I have a lot. Like I think everyone, even the terrible, irritating people, had a great episode. Like all around, good vibes. Continue. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I had to say that.
Well, no, I just know that you're just going to see how great Devin was. We'll get there. I'll say good things about him too.
Honestly, I watched tonight's episode was so good that I watched it and I said, you know what? I'm going to give an unbiased opinion of this tonight because it was that good.
Well, I'm sure that'll last 8 or 9 minutes.
That's exactly. Good. You probably have about 10 more seconds, actually.
Our episode begins with our good friend, Ashley Millionaire Mitchell, with a face mask. And just a reminder to the viewers at home how much production loves this girl.
Oh, how can you not?
I mean, I'm sitting there, I'm just like, she's got like, she stole the first episode. I mean, just confession. I'm just like, oh, confessional queen. And then she comes back, killing it again. They love her as a narrator. She leaves and they're just like, hey, let's sneak in one more. And I'm like, hey, that's some love right there.
Yeah, well, Johnny, that's why your boy Devin's back because Ashley's not there, so he's the second best narrator. So he is
the crowd. Yeah. I'll admit that.
Yeah.
Leo, did you ever do a previously on the challenge?
I was about to. They kept wanting. They wanted me to do backflips off of the
of course.
in the front yard, but I think it was some days it was pouring down, raining so bad out there. It was ridiculous. So I never got the chance to do it.
Yeah, they'll just walk around all day and just like randomly try to pull people aside to do like random ones. So
yeah.
On Survivor, like the first like 6 seasons, like Buff was like Buff makes the headgear that we wear on the show. Like instead of bandit, we wear buffs, and so like. They really went full throttle. I think I was on season 7. On season 6, like they would do a commercial. They're like, "This is a buff," and I was just like, and it would catch them, kind of in their natural environment on the island. So I would constantly during the season, I would be, they'd be like, "Hey, we have a challenge," and I go, "And this is a buff," and I'm like, "They've got to use one of these," and they didn't do a fucking commercial. So I was just an idiot saying this is a buff like 8,000 times, but completely unrelated. Reality NSFW just had a buff. It came out today, and it's an official buff. It's officially licensed. It comes on the card. I had, 4 months of conversations with CBS Legal to make this happen.
Oh, yeah. We had to change our name. We had to CBS Legal. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we were Survivor NSFW.com. Now we're Reality NSFW. So with that, they're available. Hit me up on any of my social media at Jonny Fairplay.
That just opens you up to better shows, like The Challenge, for instance.
It does. My good friend Lex Vandenberg from Survivor Africa and Survivor All Stars. He's been like, I miss Survivor so bad, blah. And I'm just like, watch the challenge. So 2 weeks ago, he started the challenge. He hit me up Tuesday. He was like, I just finished episode 6. Is there more? And I'm just like, yeah, Wednesday night, motherfucker. Like, and he was like, I love this show so fucking much. And I'm
There's
like,
36 other seasons.
Right.
As I blush my face off.
So, Leo, do you watch reality competition shows prior to the challenge?
The challenge or just any?
Both.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I did, and then man, it's not as much as now though.
Now you're all in.
Yeah, now I'm watching every single last show, and I'm like noticing that, man, it's like the same thing. They're just putting people in different environments, literally like The Bachelor and The Bachelorette is like X on the beach and like the challenge, and it was all the same thing. It's insane.
Wait, does that mean that you've seen X on the beach?
I have seen X on the Beach.
You wouldn't have dropped that otherwise.
I have.
Did you see my season of X on the Beach?
I have.
Ah!
It's because when obviously I didn't really know what shows people were coming from, and then after the show, I checked out everybody's reality.
You did your homework, okay?
Yeah. And then I happened to see you on there.
You stumbled across it.
So would you agree with the assessment? We're gonna get to the conversation a little later. Would you agree that the Big Brother people play a little dirtier than the others?
I think so. I think it's just the nature of the game is a little different than other games. So if you get comfortable making decisions like that, for so long, I think what Big Brother is longer than any other show that there is. So those guys are kind of brainwashing themselves and making them like think this way.
Well, so I think with the challenge, like when you're like someone like Fessy, like you don't have to do the Big Brother game because you're like a big dude, athletic, all that stuff. Whereas in Big Brother, they always have to play that game. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the only difference between that and coming into this one are the people like Fessy exactly, because he couldn't really play Big Brother from what I'm told. You know, like
he played Big Brother like the challenge. Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but either way, I'm sure I wasn't that impressed. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if that's your boy, Leo.
Big Brother has competitions with 5-piece puzzles.
Yeah. You know what, Leo? I feel like you might be cool with him, but he probably doesn't talk to you because I feel like he's a narcissistic fox.
Who, Fessy?
Yeah, I feel like he probably doesn't talk to anybody.
When I was in the house with him, I think I talked to Fessy in the house because I think he felt like he wasn't considered a vet. He still kind of felt like he was a rookie. So he would kind of align himself with a lot of the other, rookie cast members like in the house. So the decisions that we wanted to make as like a rookie collective, I guess, since he was winning all of the challenges, he was kind of making the decisions for us to throw like vet after vet and like put, people up against each other. But, my relationship with Fessy was good in the house. I haven't really talked to him after the game, though.
Yeah, that's mostly what I meant about it. But
yeah.
All right. So the episode begins. The Killers are home. Killer Cam and Killer Kyle. How awesome is this? They're in celebratory mood, but the celebration ends quickly when Jay explains to Corey and Kyle that he gambled on them. And I don't see as to I think he gambled on them not wanting to kill him when they got back, but that gamble was betting on a loser. Jay's gameplay here, like I feel that like Teresa eventually comes in, tries to take the fall. And that's cool of Teresa because it was her call and Jay let that slide. But Jay should have been like, look, man, it's her call. Like, we all knew it was a girls' elimination. We're part, like when it comes to a guy's elimination, like you guys are with me. This was her call, her play.
I don't know why he was taking the heat for it. I mean, it wasn't a guy's elimination. It wasn't a guy's week. So I don't really understand how Jay is. Like Cam isn't a threat for him. Like it was very weird. It was very weird.
There's no reason,
and it's the pointless lying, right? Like why? Like if he knew that was going to happen, why is he lying to people minutes before it happens? Because they're going to find out in a moment. Like of course they're all coming at him. Like he has nothing to gain from those lies.
And I feel like he lies afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, like all he should have said was, "Look, we all knew it was a girls' elimination. Teresa asked me not to say anything. I apologize, but look, if you were my partner, I would do the same for you." Yeah. That's the conversation. Not, I mean, it was just back talk and double talk and back like, and it's just like, no, stop. Like I'm sitting there as as a fellow survivor, and I'm just like, dude, you played Survivor. This is not the comeback you have on Survivor, and you're on the challenge. Same rules apply.
Yeah, exactly.
No, Jay is normally such a suave guy, and he's such a good smooth talker. And this image like just stuck with me of like Jay just pulled his beanie off, his hair's like a metaphor for his game. It's a goddamn mess, and he's like fighting these people off left and right, and not being successful. I felt bad for the guy.
Yeah, it was frustrating. It was frustrating to watch. Like you said, Johnny, I think that was the conversation there. It should have just kind of ended, and I didn't really understand why. I mean, obviously, I understood why Leroy was pissed because Cam is his girl, but it's not Jay's. Teresa is the one who wanted to get Cam out.
What is the fear of going after a skull early? If you're
wait. This is what I want to say. I think that Teresa is terrifying. I think that she's probably like so like crazy with Jay and Jay's such like, I feel like Jay's such a chill person. Like, yeah. I feel like, even like when he like goes in later, like he just has such a nonchalant, like good, like attitude about everything, So for him to be like that, I felt like it was kind of weird. And then you see Teresa and Teresa, like, I don't know. She just gives up. Like, I was watching my friends who don't watch this often. And I was like, we all looked at each other like, she's a bitch. Like in real life, she's gotta be a bitch. If I was Jay and like you have the whole house who are going to continue to hate her because she's not changing anytime soon, you kind of just have to put your head down and go into the elimination.
But I don't understand. What's the fear of getting a skull early in that? Like, if you're Killer Cam, you're 99 out of 100 challenges, you're gonna win. So like, if you're going, it's just like, all right, I got my skull. Once you get your skull and your Killer Cam, who the fuck is coming after your skull? There's still other skulls of it. Like, I feel like the show is long enough that everyone can get the skull against the person they want to go to and stay away from motherfuckers like Killer Cam.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just don't understand. Like you have these larger than life players that they're just like, ooh, I don't know if I want to get my skull early. I'm like, why not, motherfucker? So I mean, like, if I'm Jay, I'm like, you know what, this show's 16 weeks, like week 15 seems good if I'm Jay. But
listen, it's very easy for us to sit over here and be like, oh, like what would I do? It's scary to go and try to get the skull because if you try to go get the skull, you go home. And there's a lot of other things that depend on you staying there. So, camera time, more paychecks, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, but it's not always for the fucking glory, guys. But although Fessy probably should have stepped up because.
Yeah, well, I'm saying if I'm Fessy or Killer Cam, I'm like week 1. It's just like, can I just raise my hand and go in and get my skull and just relax for the next 15 weeks? Is that cool? I mean, I don't know. That's as I said. I'm watching, I'm learning, but I just there's some Killer Cam. She didn't appear to have a lot of difficulty getting it. She got her skull. I would be in celebratory mood more so than just like, man, I can't believe it. As I said, Jay should not have been the object of this attack. It should have been like, as I said, it was a girl's day. It was Teresa's move.
Guilty by association. Guilty by association.
Yeah.
Well, and I think, it's kind of like they are all viewing it as Teresa's move, but Jay's the one who lied to their face. So they're going to be more mad at Jay. I would be more mad at that person who lied to me directly, who I think is my friend, rather than the person who made a good game move.
That's it. But the only reply is, it was a girl's week. She swore me to secrecy. She's my partner. I'm showing loyalty. You would want that if you were my partner.
But could this have happened? Could this have happened prior to this week? Do you know what I'm saying? Could people have already been on to like their game in that sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because obviously something was happening prior to that.
Yeah. So, well, Teresa does have some good advice, in which she says a day in the house is a year, and that truer words have never been spoken in the history of reality television. Because I know whenever I had the target on my back, I'm just like, it's 3 more days till tribal council, and as far as I'm concerned, that's 2 weeks. Let's go.
Yeah.
I don't know how you did that shit, Johnny. That's actually, you are a sociopath for sure. I could never, ever. Ever.
No, I remember the first time I met Richard Hatch. He was just like, I don't respect your game. And I'm just like, why? And he was just like, he goes, you fly off the handle. Like I see you're just so animated and over the top and just ridiculous. And when you have a problem with someone, you tell them. I'm just like, yes. And I'm just like, here's here's what you haven't figured out, dude. I'm just like, if we go to tribal council, there's 3 more days before I go back to tribal council. If I have a problem with you, it's that night after tribal council or the next fucking morning. And I fucking air all the grievances I have and I unload them and I unleash. And then I'm done and I'm calm and I'm fine. And I got 2.5 more days to put a target on 2 other motherfuckers and fucking destroy their fucking game.
You don't even need that long. You just need like a couple of hours of alcohol and somebody's going to mess up. Like
we don't have alcohol in Survivor.
Oh, sorry. I forgot about that.
Yeah. You know, step in Evan, step in Josh, step in Fessy. They might take some heat off. But I mean, it was so funny. We have Teresa here come in trying to take heat off Jay. We also have Teresa saying, oh, we just need another day. A day is like a year. Teresa, every single thing she said this episode was wrong. It was fantastic. Like I feel bad for her watching the show. Like we talked about, these confessionals are filmed later. She should have some hindsight looking back, but they just set her up for failure all episode.
Yes, but thank God for her, because this is what makes a great episode, is that you have people that you're just like, you don't hate, but you're just like so irritated by, like, and you just want them to lose and you want somebody else to win. You know, like this episode was just like, you need the heels and you need the heroes. And I think that she is a perfect heel, to be honest with you, because you're just like I could never, I don't think I'd ever be able to hang out with her. Like if she was doing that stuff that she pulled with Amber, that would not be the same situation had it been me. But
well,
I guess
I
we'll get to that.
When she later goes into damage control, like she goes, I know this is bad, but I'm going to go into damage control at the club. And I'm just like, this is the worst damage control I've ever seen. I'm like, I don't think she knows what damage control means. Because if you mean by damage control like throwing gasoline on a fire, you nailed it. But I don't think you're looking for a damp blanket to put out the fire, perhaps. So.
Yeah, I feel like as soon as I left the house, I mean, obviously I probably didn't have anything to do with it, but I feel like people just started going nuts.
Yeah,
it was insane.
So no, like we like your exit episode is a pretty calm episode, and then like seconds later, it's
yeah,
explosion. So really quick, we have a breakfast chat with CT and Teresa in which she throws Darrell under the bus. That won't come back to haunt her or ever be mentioned again. So that's good. I'm glad.
And she won't remember saying that, apparently.
She will. She might later, but she doesn't for her first confessional. So and then we a quick outtake. We come to the understanding that Devin doesn't like Big Brother-ers because their game is based on lying. And well, then you must hate Survivor, Devin.
Devin's life is based on lying. He's right there with you.
There we go. There was the other
game recognizes game, guys. He just needs a fucking he just needs an enemy, okay?
The Evan Love is coming back, or Devin Love's coming back. Don't worry, Devin. I got your back. All right. We have our challenge of the day. It is aerial takedown, and I'm sitting there. I love the rainbow life vest that they're wearing because it reminds me of every snow jacket that I had as a kid. And yes, I used to get beat up daily. I don't know if you guys.
No way.
Yeah.
No,
Yep.
I don't believe that for a second.
For those of you that are patrons, go to adfreeNSFW.com. We do a weekly Q&A. And next week's Q&A question, I talk about when I was in 4th grade at the bus stop, a much taller, thank God she was taller. It would have been worse if she was shorter, much taller red-haired girl beat me up and shoved my head in the snow repeatedly for about 15 minutes.
Did you deserve it?
Well, I was wearing that fucking rainbow jacket, so apparently.
Oh.
And I'm sure you said something.
Oh, I'm sure.
Anna, this challenge absolutely rules. This makes up for the shitty drone challenge. This is awesome. We're going to fly you in a helicopter, hang on to this cargo net, and try to throw each other into the water. Hell yeah.
Yeah. This brings me back to the challenge that I feel like I started in, like the like goldenish era where it was like, you know, like just transitioning into like the Nani era where there was like this kind of stuff where it wasn't like too crazy, but it also wasn't like sitting on an ice cube and being pushed, across the lawn. But like it was something that was like fun and cool, and like I think I loved everything about it.
Yeah.
Well, there were a bunch of guys I didn't love their performance in this, but other than that, yeah.
Leo, do you wish you had been around for this challenge? Because
I really do, because I was thinking about, and it's so funny that you mentioned the drone challenge, because I hated that challenge so much.
So did we as viewers.
Yeah.
Very, very frustrating. I think we were like standing outside.
Wait, I have to say, Leo, are you so happy that you missed that other one, that like crazy heights one? What was that?
Was that the one
over the water? Come on, guys, when they were holding them, I think it was.
Oh, I did that.
Oh my God, you were there? Okay, then we need to talk about that. What was that like?
Pulling that rope out of the ground sucked. It sucked. I mean, I know that it looked maybe not that grueling, but it felt like that rope was going forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, and it was actually kind of hard to get it out of the ground.
Leo, I'm not talking about the rope. I'm talking about how terrifying that whole pit was. Like, it's not about the rope.
I wasn't on it.
I know, but like, you were up there. Was it not scary? Like, give us
it was scary, but I think the lactic acid in my muscles were taking over my fear of being up there. I was thinking more so of, oh my God, my legs and my arms are killing me.
It's her, not me.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't the one falling, so I wasn't really thinking about that.
If I was there and I didn't think I had a chance at winning, I would have been like, you hang, bitch, because like, not doing it.
I would have been lactate intolerant at that point. That would not have been an issue for me. So you're watching this. What strategy is going through your head? I mean, because I'm sitting there, I'm just like, Leo's probably thinking money in the bank, like Leo climb through shit and stomp.
I was so frustrated watching the guys like just not do anything. I got it though for the bigger guys. I mean, it's probably so much easier for them to kind of take one misstep and just fall off because they're heavier. But I would have been all over that thing and trying to get people off. And if I was the last two, I mean, if it was a case where, first person's feet to hit the water, I would have grabbed onto somebody and just held on to them rather than, trying to push them off of the net. I mean, I thought that was kind of silly, but I wish I was doing it.
It seemed obvious that the best strategy was to get as high up as possible and just fucking stomp on people's fucking hands.
Yeah.
Hands, yeah, for sure. Heads, like, I was surprised it didn't get more aggressive than it was.
Yeah, same.
Right?
Yeah. It was this, like, as great as this challenge was to some degree, it could have been so much more across the board. Even the people that tried, like, I mean, as it was good, but it could have been just fucking nasty. Because I can't imagine me doing anything other than climbing as high up as I can and stomping that's the game.
Well, this is where politics and like game rules can really affect a challenge, right? Because like in any other challenge, like this would be like the greatest thing, but because the rules are set up a certain way, a lot of people feel comfortable not doing anything.
Yeah, especially when those see who gets the best time thing. As soon as that's inserted into a challenge, then that's when politics are in play, and like that's where you saw Teresa asking people to kind of just like fall because it reminded me of somewhat of the wrestling on top of the truck. Some people were wanting to go down just so they could have a smaller time than somebody else.
Oh, I was about to say, so if that happened in the truck challenge, then it would make. I was going to say, if this challenge happens earlier in the season, do we perhaps get a different outcome, or is it one of those? This was comparable to the truck challenge, and that mentality dictates.
No, I think people are just thinking a little differently. They're thinking strictly strategy. The later in the game it gets, because people are scoping out the competition, trying to see who they can get their goal score from, who's going to be in the final with them. You know, I like how CT was trying to get out, you know, Darrell. It was, I think people are just looking at the game differently. They don't want certain people to win, and they're willing to, you know, kind of like bite the bullet or take a fall just so somebody else doesn't win the game.
Who did you want to get your gold skull from?
I feel like I was ready to get in front of with anybody, just because these games are so unpredictable. You know, you never know what you're going to get or who you're going to get. And I feel like amateur wrestling has taught me that, you know, anybody can be beaten on any given day. So, you know,
professional wrestling has taught me that as well.
Yeah. You know, if I was in, you know, I remember there was a elimination where you had to go in and out of a car to unravel the rope. You know, if I was in a elimination with CT or Fessy, you know, they're not fitting through that car window. So you know, it's easy for me I was prepared at any given, you know, moment.
But there's no one you had singled out as like, I want them.
No, because you never know what somebody's really good in. I didn't know what somebody's strength or weakness is. I mean, if I'm looking at, you know, CT, I mean, I probably know that I can beat him in a foot race, but that's pretty much about it.
Yeah. I mean, like the creator elimination tonight, like I see the challenge and I'm just like, this has Jay's name written all over it.
Yeah. I was pretty, I guess I would say shocked. I mean, I guess I was shocked just because, you know, Jay's a climber. I feel like that's his thing. So, yeah, it was surprising to see that Jay didn't win that one.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that elimination a number of times, and I think that the best person we've ever seen do it now is Leroy, and the second best person we've ever seen do it is Jay. And like they just so happen to go against each other. That was insane.
Well, I've seen
we're there already.
I don't know if you've been in the house with Leroy before or in a game with Leroy before, but he's like a madman when it comes to training. He's always working out, like all the time. He brought his you know, elevation mask with him to the house, and any chance he got to work out, he was doing it. So I guess, you know, as far as endurance and getting through that as fast as he did, it didn't shock me that he got through it that fast because he was always doing something. If he wasn't cutting somebody's hair in the house, he was playing.
I can't wait to talk about this. I can't wait.
All right. So real quick, going through the challenge, Anissa first out in her heat. It comes down to Casey versus Nani. Casey's a beast. She wins. We see the right before the guys' first heat. Jarrell was happy that there was no crane, and I felt his pain there. I was I was right there when you walk out, you see no crane, you think it's gonna be a good day, and then a fucking helicopter comes out, and it's just like, motherfucker.
Darrell is one of the coolest people that I've met through these shows. He has such a chill, like doesn't really care what's kind of like going on type of vibe. So like he cracks me up. That whole part when he was like, "You think you're good," and then the helicopter comes over. Like I've been there before, and it's like it's not a fun feeling. He said it's so funny.
He needs more confessionals because, like, a little bit. I mean, like, you know, you've seen Darrell in the past, and he kills it. And we've gotten limited Darrell this season, but the moments that he's had, he's knocked out of the park.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's pretty funny. He shocked me with how funny he is.
So guys, heat 1, they're DQ'd. That was pathetic. Then we see Teresa attempting to explain strategies. She's beside Lolo, who doesn't appear to listen to strategy, even if it were pitched. So I felt like that was falling on deaf ears. But we do see Amber M's first to go out. Lolo right behind her. Like Lolo, not the challenge beast that I expected going into this. I mean, she's a fucking Olympian, and like the first challenge, you know, like scaling the hill in 2 steps when everyone else takes 25 is just like holy moly. And since then, like what's your view on Lolo, you know, in the house as a competitor?
I thought, like you said, that first challenge, I was like, oh shit, like she's just on a different level.
Yeah.
You know, athleticism. But everything after that, I guess, I would say I was surprised that she didn't do a lot better. But I thought she was a very sneaky and pushy person in the house when it came to politics. I remember having a conversation with her where she was trying to pry some kind of answer out of me, but I wasn't giving it to her. And I remember the night before she was talking about how she used to be like a interviewer, I guess like a host for some kind of event or whatever the case may be. But she's used to, interviewing people, and she has she has her ways to get answers out of people. And I felt like she was getting pretty frustrated with me because I wasn't giving her certain things, but she could tell that I was on to what she was trying to do, because I'm so used to that with like wrestling. I'm so used to, the dirt sheets, and I'm so used to like the reporters trying to pry answers out of me that I wouldn't normally give.
Yeah. I would like Lolo Jones across the room for me in like an interrogation room.
Yeah.
I would like to be wearing like a shirt, no underwear, and like cross my legs and then cross them back. And then I would uncross them again and say, "Get over here, girl."
What?
I'm just
what does that even mean? Ew. I don't even know what that means. I'm just ew.
Since no one wants to think about that, the one person who's not hearing what Teresa is throwing out there is Amber B. We're talking bad about all the Big Brothers this episode. She's like the one Big Brother person who's not being associated with that crew. But I thought this was a good look for her. Not only does she come through and beat Teresa, but she's showing the whole house, I'm not with this person. Everyone else is against. It's a good look for her as one of the rookie girls.
Well, can we talk about how gorgeous she is? Like, it's insane.
So
like she honestly looks like a supermodel, and she just handles herself so well. I feel like you can just when I don't know if she's actually like this, Leo, you tell me. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting her yet, but I feel like she's just very kind of like chill, like that's my impression from what I've seen. So
no, for sure. I remember the room that she was staying in, they would call that like the Zen Den, because she came to the house. She had these sage sticks and incense, and I think she brought like a yoga mat, and I think she's like a massage therapist too. So she was like giving people massages and stuff like that. So she's a pretty calm, individual. No, but yeah, you definitely, nailed it with being a pretty chill person.
There we go. So Teresa, she does finish off Amber B in this challenge. She finishes with a fuck you, and I was just like, wow, that was pretty harsh. But as Marie's told us and everyone else, like, you guys are pretty vocal during challenges and with the expletives, and it don't read too much into that.
Don't read into it, but also like I mean, after the challenge, like there's still going to be an issue there, because people just like that's just competition, right? Like at the end of the day. But yeah.
Well, I would do that on Survivor, but I was the only one. Like, they're just like, "Whoa, not cool, dude." I'm just like, "We just fucking won. Fuck you." And they're like, "Yeah, no."
You don't really see that on many other competition shows. Like, I remember when Joseph was in the crater and they're yelling like, "Break his arm, kill him." It's like, good Lord. What?
Yeah, no, I would scream, "Put him in a body bag," from Karate Kid and stuff. Like, every challenge we won, I finished with the double deuces to the other tribe. So, and no one else prior to me on Survivor did that. No one else after me, and they're just like, "What do you do?" I'm just like, "Why wouldn't you? You just want, like, fuck them." And they're like, "There's eventually going to be a merge." I'm like, "Yeah, we'll talk about it." Like, I'm a funny motherfucker. They'll get over it.
Well, the daily challenge ends with another DQ from the guys. Gross, and they let their dad down. TJ is dressing on at the end there and saying, "You guys fucking suck," which is another reason I love TJ so much.
That was my favorite part of the episode. Is TJ telling them that they fucking sucked, because I could never imagine Jeff Probst doing that.
or like any other host. It's so good.
Yeah, there you go. So, all right. I guess right now is a good time for a commercial, and then we'll come back and we'll finish up this episode.
Sounds good. Here's a quick word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Now that the holidays are over, it's all too common to set health goals that never actually stick. New Year's resolutions of the past, we're looking at you. And when it comes to eating better and consuming less sugar, let's be honest, most healthy snacks don't taste very good. They don't fill you up, and they certainly don't satisfy your cravings. This episode is sponsored by Munk Pack, who make snacks that taste like our favorite sugary treats, but with 1 gram of sugar or less.
Munk Pack Keto Granola Bars contain just 1 gram of sugar, 2 grams of net carbs, and they're only 140 calories.
They're great for anyone following a keto lifestyle, but also the perfect snack for anyone who is trying to eat better or cut back on sugar and carbs without sacrificing taste.
Yeah, I am a huge fan of these bars. I start my morning off with one every day. You know, I can get lazy. I like to set some health goals for myself. That's my big focus in 2021. I'm watching shows like The Challenge, and I want to be a beast like CT. I need these Monk bars to start my day because they give me the energy and the power to push through some tough workouts, and I'm a huge fan.
I think CT could have used the Munk Pack keto granola bars. I mean, they have soft and chewy texture. They come in delicious flavors like coconut, cocoa chip, maple pecan, and my favorite, peanut butter.
Ooh, they're so good, and they're perfect for a quick breakfast, a snack between Zoom calls, or a late night treat that you don't have to feel guilty about. In addition to being keto friendly, the bars are also gluten-free, grain-free, plant-based, and non-GMO with no soy, trans fats, sugar, alcohols, or artificial colors.
Hey, they taste incredible, and you can't beat the low sugar nutrition or taste that they provide. And by shopping online, you can avoid another trip to the grocery store by getting Munk Pack delivered right to your door.
Try it for yourself and you'll see. And we have a special deal for our listeners. Get 20% off your first purchase of any Munk Pack product by visiting monkpack.com and entering our code SURVIVOR at checkout.
Yeah, and Munk Pack is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll exchange the product or refund your money, whichever you prefer. So to get started, just go to monkpack.com. That's MUNKPACK.com and select any product and then use promo code SURVIVOR. They love it when we do that at checkout for 20% off your purchase.
Munk Pack, delicious, nutritious foods you can count on, and we thank them for sponsoring Reality NSFW. Listen up, fellas, 2020 sucked. It's the new year, which means new balls with our sponsor, Manscaped. Manscaped is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming, offering precision-engineered tools for your family jewels and helping 2 million men all over the world get rid of the hair on their balls. If you let yourself go in 2020 while in quarantine, well, Manscaped is here for you to reboot and stay clean and shaved in 2021.
2021, I'm showing off my freshly trimmed balls, my freshly trimmed shaft, and of course, my beautiful butthole, thanks to Manscaped.
Manscaped is here to give you a fresh start in 2021 with their Perfect Package 3.0 that has all the right tools for the job. Come out of quarantine with clean balls thanks to the Lawnmower 3.0. This waterproof and skin-safe trimmer will reduce nicks to your 2 best friends. The 3rd generation trimmer even has a light to give you the glow up you need in 2021. It's also time to freshen up down there this new year. The Crop Preserver is an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. You already put deodorant on your armpits. Why are you not putting deodorant on the smelliest part of your body? And for on-the-go freshness, you'll love the Crop Preserver Ball Toner Spray. 2020 was awful, so make sure your boys are refreshed and ready for new beginnings in 2021.
Manscaped even threw in their shed travel bag to keep all your goodies stored comfortably. Zach, did you notice we were at Hearts of Reality a couple weeks ago? What's there on the bathroom counter? My Manscaped shed travel bag, of course.
The only way to travel.
The only way. And speaking of comfort, the Manscaped anti-chafing boxer briefs are also included and are hands down the best underwear that you'll ever wear. But when you take them off, clean balls. It's great. A guy with hairy balls is like the year 2020. Don't be that guy.
Get 20% off and free shipping with the code SURVIVOR at manscaped.com. Your balls will thank you.
That's 20% off and free shipping with the promo code SURVIVOR at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use promo code SURVIVOR. Happy New Year to your balls.
And we are back. Leo, I listen to that commercial all the time, and your genuine reaction to hearing that commercial roll was so much fun to watch.
I was like, I'm not talking to my wife. I'm like, this is a really long balls commercial.
I know exactly what commercial that is.
So Leo, to open us back up, you mentioned right when we were starting that you were familiar with Marie, that you'd gone back and watched a lot of Challenge. What are your thoughts on Marie's game?
I didn't watch her in the challenge. But I watched her on X on the Beach, and I just thought I thought the relationship between her and Devin was just hilarious, because I actually roomed with Devin in the house at the challenge. So I was just
Leo,
it's a lot to process. Personality.
Did he talk a lot of shit? He talks a lot of shit.
I think he mentioned your name a couple of times.
Oh,
please.
Marie mentions his name every podcast. It's never friendly.
You could suck a dick. I'm not going to say anything about him this podcast.
Hey! Look, Marie's under the impression, and I agree from what I've seen. On Survivor, they're constantly pulling us during the day because we have nothing else to do.
No.
Okay.
I've decided that I'm giving everyone a fair chance, Johnny. I thought I'd said this to you before.
Okay.
I'm being an unbiased person right now, so if you can just stop it, that would be
wonderful.
No,
this is a point to you. So on Survivor, they're pulling us for confessionals, and we're doing in real time. We're talking about what's happening. Whereas on the challenge, they're pulling you guys after the fact, and you're giving a recount of the week. And Devin, with the foresight of everything that's happened, is telling the story that just glorifies everything he does. It's mastery of what's going on. But if after the fact, I would easily tell you how great I am and how I thought of every single thing to do, and no one else thought of that.
Yeah, that comes with experience for sure.
Yeah. So it's impressive. So we're back in the house, and Teresa explains that her plan wasn't to get rid of Darrell, but it was. And then we go to the club and follow, and Devin has decided it's time to poke the bear, and he starts with Fessy, and Josh warns him real quick. He likes to poke. So don't fall for it. Whatever you do not fall for Devin's poking. And
if that struck anyone as unusual of Josh saying don't take the bait, don't worry, you'll get vindicated in a couple minutes.
Yeah, that's like me giving somebody advice.
So Kyle pushes Fessy. Fessy definitely pushes back. Fessy's outside. Devin relishes in every second of this, puts his ass cheeks on the glass, sits down, props his feet up, and I'm just like, oh my God, is this my favorite player out here? Bar none, no contest. Like, I'm loving every second of this. But oh no, we're not done. So then Josh throws water at Devin.
No, tea time.
Okay.
What does Fessy say when he points at Devin and then somebody else? What does he call them? I laughed so hard. Come on. Tough guy. What did he say? Come on. He said something.
Oh, no, he said it's not going to be your bitch ass. It's not going to
be. You're a bitch ass. You're a bitch ass.
Oh, I am loving it. And so then Josh throws water at Devin, but it hits Kyle, and then Kyle's ready to go. And CT talks him off the ledge.
Which, one person in this whole thing, Kyle, just walk away, dude. You have nothing to do with this. You keep getting involved for absolutely no reason.
Yes. So then Josh is ready to explode, and he gives Devin he gives Devin 3 warnings and says, "I'm going to count to 3." And I'm sitting there going, "There's no way Devin moves." Hey.
Hey guys.
Hey, what's up?
It's Hope one.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there watching. I'm sitting there watching this exchange. I'm like, there's no way Devin moves on 3. And the fact that Josh counts out loud and counts slow, and I'm just like, oh, Josh, you're just setting yourself up for disaster here.
Well, you're like, he's not going to do anything. But then he shoved him. I'm so glad he actually shoved him.
He shoved the shit out of him.
Yeah.
He really did. That was intense. I was like, security, hashtag security. Thank God they were there twice.
Yeah. That was a grown-ass man.
I'm
going to say bye now, but I love y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Jessica Jones from the Marvel fan.
Yo, he just called you
Yeah, no, if you're a fan of that fight scene, TheRinger.com did a really fun write-up of how disheveled and messy Devin looked throughout the whole thing, and they took screenshots, and it's fantastic. The whole time his shirt is like hanging off his shoulder like this. He is so drunk, and he's holding a broken cigarette in his hand the entire time. It is in 2 pieces.
He's the king of working in cigarettes into random shots on the show, whereas you see no one else with a cigarette this entire season. Yeah. So, oh my god, I'm like that is a cerebral master, and the fact that Josh knew it for like 10 minutes prior, and then just and Devin just keeps setting the traps, and here's Josh. Let me just step into this trap.
It was almost enough to save our guy Jay, but ultimately,
yeah, not quite enough. Right. So, what did you think of Devin's gameplay in the house, Leo?
I mean, he clearly knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
he clearly knows what he's doing.
Did you like that, or are you like?
I mean, I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. I'm so used to. I kind of saw it as like a wacky kind of wrestling gimmick, because it's so crazy that I can't imagine that somebody's like personality is actually like that. It was like watching a movie every day.
Yeah,
like it was so funny to watch. I mean, I'm glad that he wasn't doing all that shit to me. But it was pretty hilarious, watching everybody else's reactions to it.
He's very Miz-esque.
I could see that. I don't think
the early like Miz has matured.
Yeah,
over the years.
Watch your mouth, Jonny Fairplay. You better not compare the Miz to fucking Devin right now. I will sign off faster than fucking anything.
I'll tell you that I used to do a reality poker night every Tuesday night in Los Angeles, and we'd have like 8 reality people come over every Tuesday night. And every week, like Miz would be like, "Hey, you doing?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've already called 8 people." He's like, "All right, let me know." I'm like, "Okay." And then he called the next week. He's like, "Hey," I'm just like, "All right, I got 8 people." So finally, I'm like, Miz called me like Monday morning at like 9. He's just like, "Hey, I want to do poker." I'm like, "All right." I was like, "You're in for poker." So I call the other people. I was like, so people, they're just like, "Hey, Tuesday." I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Who's in so far?" I'm like, the Miz. Like, "Nope, ain't playing." And I'm like, okay. And the next person like, "Who's in so far?" I'm like, "Just the Miz." They're like, "Yeah, ain't playing." No one would play. Miz had to bring his own friends to play poker with us because no one would play poker with the Miz. They're just like, "Oh, that guy." And he comes over and breaks one of my chairs as soon as he fucking gets there. Fucking. And I'm just like, there we go. That's Devin. So yeah, early Miz. He as I said, a lot of maturation over the years, Marie. All right. You can unmute.
Well, I'm no longer commenting on Devin because you're right. I will not give him that fucking airtime. But that's on you now, Jonny. You son of a bitch. Continue that.
All right. So we get to deliberations, and Teresa now remembers CT's conversation and calls him out on it. But the best counter to being accused of something is to yell at them. And that always throws people off the beaten path. And I think CT got out of it pretty much successfully. I think Anissa did, a couple of red flags were raised there. But I think there was so much focus on Teresa that they weren't going to implicate CT at this time.
Yeah, somehow, even though it's all about Jay, it's really all about Teresa. And Jay has a great confessional where he's like, "I love that Teresa's fighting for me. That's exactly what I want in a partner." but I wish she'd just stop. All I want is her to stop. Yeah, I mean, spot on. But yeah, CT gets out of this. This is what CT does. He's such a smooth operator.
Yeah, it's so funny. He literally describes his character that we've seen all season long. He's like, he goes, I say something and then I slip back into the shadows, and that's been his edit all season long.
That's been his edit for like the last 10 years, guys. Like that's what he does.
Yeah,
I mean, it's smart.
What did you think of CT, Leo?
I like CT. I like CT a lot. I mean, other than our first little argument in that first episode,
sure.
After that, it was a pretty good, relationship. I feel like we were kind of sitting back and watching other people argue a week after week, so it was pretty funny.
Do you think you got a lot of respect from the other guys in the house with that early Death Valley driver?
I think so. I mean, I could tell that a lot of people, because I wasn't really opening up too much. I think that was the first time in the house where I was, kind of breaking out of my shell a little bit, and because I think I'm naturally like a shy person. I'm not the Lio Rush that you see like on TV, like 24/7. I feel like it takes me a little bit to warm up to people. So I feel like a lot of people saw that, and as soon as I kind of showed them a little bit of my world, it was pretty good from there.
Cool. So next,
well, real quick, just to get one more dig on Devin, I'm so glad that at the deliberation, Devin is the one apologizing and the whole house is blaming him for this, and it's not like Fessy and Josh apologizing, because he's instigated this whole damn thing, and I'm glad he's taking the blame for it.
Yeah, he apologizes for the negativity, and everyone's like, thank you. And I'm just like, that seemed like the most insincere apology I've ever heard in my life. And people are like, good apology. Is anything from him like enough?
No, it's another bullshit tactic though, where he's like making out the fact that he gets drunk and fights with people to be a strategy. That's not a strategy because it's not working. No one likes it.
I love it as a viewer. But as a strategy, you might be correct. So it's time for everybody to vote, and it's almost unanimous. It's Jay and Teresa, and I think we all saw this coming after last week, and in spite of Devin, Fessy, Josh, all the other shenanigans, there's no erasing. Like, yes, a day is a year in that house, but those days didn't separate. So it wasn't leaving people's memory. And as I said, I don't think Teresa was doing anything to help during those 3 days. As I said, getting, drinking at the club and confronting people was not taking the target off anybody's back. So. All right, so Jay and Teresa are compromised, and Leroy decides it's time for him to get his gold skull. However, if he doesn't feel comfortable, it's going to be Nam.
Sure. First we've seen of Nam lately, other than him fighting with Lolo.
Yeah. So how did you see that relationship unfolding between Nam and Lolo, Leo? Did you?
I thought it was a joke at first, but the more they started, talking more and more, and Lolo was actually getting, irritated and upset with Nam about certain things, like little things. So I was like, oh shit, maybe she actually likes Nam. But I thought it was a joke at first. But I guess it's not.
So they went from like flirting to married in a week.
Yeah, really quick.
Sucks being married. All right. So Jay's compromised, and we are informed by TJ that last night at headquarters, that was unacceptable. The shenanigans between Josh, Fessy, and Devin and Kyle, and this is their one and only warning. And the fact that we see this mentioned on television, I'm a little worried that this might come back into play moving forward.
I don't know, Johnny. I think Josh is going to hear that warning and he's going to really just calm down. He's going to have no temper going forward. That's the Josh we know and love. It's all good.
Sure. Okay. Well, fair enough. So Devin, he'll stop poking and we're good.
Yeah, I agree with you, Johnny. I think it's definitely going to come into play again somehow.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they show it if it doesn't.
No, absolutely. I've got $5 on Devin getting assaulted at some point.
Or they show up because they have to.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe. So also it is revealed that every guy that didn't try on the challenge, their vote doesn't count. Thank you, TJ. How cool. I mean, it sucked that the entire house voted against Jay and Teresa, but to nullify those votes of the people that didn't try, I think is a warning to people going forward. And hopefully as you saw, as explained by CT, who also didn't try, you're there for a fucking reason. So, I mean, Leo, you saw this and you're just like, oh, I would have killed this. There's no way you don't try on this challenge. No way.
Yeah, I mean,
even strategically, if they're just like, hey, and you're just like, no, man, we're on a cargo now, and it's on the helicopter.
I do want to say something about Corey. You know how he had to sit this one out, and he was like talking about how watching these other people compete, like that's not what you're supposed to do. I believe Corey, that is actually who he is. Like if he was playing in that challenge, like he would have 100% been going for it. He would he would have been the first one to jump off. That's for sure. So,
yeah, it was a good move by TJ and MTV though too, because this was such a toothless threat, right? We knew they knew the whole house voted one way. We knew the whole house voted one way. It's just putting it in the contestants' minds, like we could do something like this and actually fuck with your game if you don't actually play our game.
Yeah,
I thought it was smart. I think it would have been kind of bullshit if it actually would have changed the result of the vote. I don't like when they do stuff without the players having any idea what's going on.
Yeah. So no, it was cool. So our Crater Elimination is Fire Escape, and both Jay and Leroy complete this in under 1 minute. And I guarantee you, whatever stunt team they have that tries out these challenges, we're not even fucking close.
Can I talk about this one? What a great matchup. There's so many things to talk about right here. Like Cam and Leroy together are just like, it's literally couple goals. That sounds corny, but like they just really make each other better. And she is a woman that if you are with her, like you better be going for like the next goal, because she's not with someone that like waits to the end, And I feel like their relationship has brought out Leroy so much this season. And then like with the whole situation, honestly, I cried. Like I felt so happy for Leroy. Like I just genuinely did. Like that was such an awesome moment. And I feel like Jay was like, he was so humble in being beat because he was so beat. But like even when he went into it, he was humble about it, regardless of what had happened before. And I think that's why like I really like watching like a Jay. Where like, that like it is a game and like he'll be able to like, leave there and come back stronger and have those relationships. But I mean, this is such a great episode.
I thought it was amazing in the story that they're telling with Leroy. Like, I met Leroy 10 years ago. Awesome guy. Loved him. But like, Jay I've hung out with multiple times. He's a, survivor brother to me. And like, I wasn't like, fuck you, Leroy. You beat my friend. I was just like, yes, Leroy. And I'm just like, what am I doing? Like, how amazing a story are they telling with Leroy right now that I'm, against my brother? Like, I'm not mad. I'm not sad. I'm sad after the fact, but I'm just like, God, like, I don't want to see Leroy go home. This is his last time ever. Rumor and innuendo, allegedly. But if it is, like, you want to see him win this thing.
No, for sure. Yeah. I mean, the story is definitely there, and especially with Cam getting her gold skull the week before. I mean, it just feels right for him to step up and I guess take out the person who didn't really vote for his girlfriend. But no, I'm glad that he got he got his skull.
Well, I mean, it's obvious you and Jay are tight, watching this. Like, did you find yourself in a similar situation to me? You're just like, Jay's my boy, but how cool is this?
No, yeah, it was definitely cool. And it sucked to see him, go down in that challenge, especially when, I thought that he was going to actually get the win.
Yeah.
And as we're getting close to wrapping up the show, Lio, I know you got to take off, so I want to make sure we get to say goodbye to you and thank you for coming on and talking with us. This has been awesome. I thought you were so good on the challenge, and we were so excited to have you on and get to hear some of your perspectives. So thank you so much.
Yeah,
definitely. I appreciate you guys, having me on, and I'm glad that I was finally able to do this. And Johnny, it's been like 2 years since I've seen you.
Yeah,
and, I'm glad that I'm getting to meet Marie on here, and
I hope that our lives cross paths one day because I think that you're awesome.
Well, so this, I have two final questions. Are you going to be at Hearts Reality this year? Because I think with everything you've done in professional wrestling, with the challenge fans that you now added to the arsenal, are you going to be at Hearts to be one of the #1 fundraisers that they have this year?
I would like to. I mean, I have no idea how to get in contact with them or to let them know that I'm interested. But
don't worry, Johnny knows the guy.
I will have Omar contacting you tomorrow.
For sure.
You might be the 4th host of this podcast by next
Look for that email from Omar. It's coming your way. I believe it's either the 1st or 2nd weekend in August. Everything looks to be on plan, on pace. So we're very excited about that. And last question, any chance he's showing up in AEW?
I mean, there's a lot that, it has to make sense for me and my family, like financially it has to make sense. I can't just jump into any old thing. I know that a lot of fans would enjoy that tremendously, but I'm keeping my options open. New Japan is definitely something that I had my sight set on before I even got to WWE. And I feel like, I don't know, there might be a little bit too many similarities between AEW and WWE for my liking.
Sure.
Yeah, it depends.
Well, I plan on being at Wrestle Kingdom 22. I plan on being there rooting you on.
For sure. I appreciate that.
Awesome. So
Leo,
we'll be in touch.
I have to ask before you go, what do you think about me on the show? Because if there's any weird feelings towards me, I want to clear them up here. There's so many times that you get to approach someone, if they don't like you or not. So
no weird feeling whatsoever. I highly enjoyed you on the show, so no worries.
Okay, cool.
Everyone loves you, Marie.
Yeah.
Come on.
I
defended you on Reddit. I thought someone said something mean about you on Reddit, and they're just like, no, I want to know where she gets her edibles.
Hit me in my DMs. New York City locals, I know a guy. I'm kidding. I'm literally kidding.
Awesome. Well, guys, this has been amazing. Leo, we can find you at was it the Lionel Green on everything, Instagram, Twitter, everything, and your links to everything else you can find on your Twitter page and from your link tree. And also, thank you so much. And I guess I do have one final question. Would you do the challenge again?
Yes, I would. Okay. I definitely would.
Awesome. Really good to hear. Marie, you have a potential, well, it's not potential, it's happening. You have a new podcast. We will be talking more about it next week, but get ready, ladies and gentlemen. If you want a 2 girls chatting it up, you and LaToya Jackson.
I realize how much I like talking, but I just don't like producing. So if you can just give me and my girl a link to chat, with money. So
Marie, I got you.
I know, Zach. I was honestly just depending on you. So
yeah, Zach's on top of this, and if you guys want a reality NSFW buff, they're only limited to 100. I think about 20 left today, and they just hit an hour or 2 hours ago now. So find me on my social media, shoot me a message, and become a patron at adfreensfw.com, and join us each and every week. Catch our reaction show with Lauren and Alex, and with that. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Bye.
Lucy Nicotine is a company founded by Caltech scientists and former smokers looking for a better and cleaner nicotine alternative. Finally, tobacco alternatives that don't suck.
Researched and developed for 3 years to be made by people, not patients. Lucy's created a nicotine gum with 4 milligrams of nicotine that comes in 3 flavors: wintergreen, cinnamon, and pomegranate. Lucy also has a lozenge with 4 milligrams of nicotine in cherry ice flavor. Each and every flavor actually does taste great, and it's convenient and discreet. Products can be enjoyed anywhere, on flights, at work, on the go, even in the gym. I'm so excited that Lucy is sponsoring us because one of my best friends in the world, he's trying to quit smoking. His girlfriend's been getting on him for years. He's a big menthol smoker, and the wintergreen flavor is a really nice substitute for him that he absolutely loves. So this is the thing that you need to check out if you've been trying to kick your tobacco habits.
I have a family member that's tried the pomegranate, and they say it's one of the greatest tasting gums they've ever had. We're not talking nicotine gum. We're talking any gum. So if you've been discouraged by other nicotine gums, try the pomegranate. And also for the lozenge, the cherry ice is allegedly the best. And you know what? I believe them. But as far as enjoying anywhere, I heard at the gym, you get a little extra bump from the lozenge and from the gum.
Boom. It's 2020. Get rid of your cigarettes, unplug your vape, throw out your dip, and get some Lucy nicotine gum or lozenges. This is the real deal, and a subscription to Lucy comes directly to your door each month. It's so simple, you don't even have to leave your house because Lucy has delivery down.
Reality NSFW listeners, go to lucy.co and use promo code SURVIVOR to get 20% off all products, including gum and lozenges. That's Lucy, LUCY.co. That's right, CO, and use promo code SURVIVOR at checkout. Also, I have to give this disclaimer. Warning, this product contains nicotine derived from tobacco, and nicotine is an addictive chemical. So that's lucy.co, and be sure to use that promo code SURVIVOR, and we thank them for sponsoring the Reality NSFW podcast. Let's talk about something we could all use more of right now. Sex. Great sex. Now look, I love sex, Zach. I don't know about you. It's my favorite. It's my favorite. And I don't like a little bit of sex. I like a whole lot of sex. And so, guys, now you can increase your performance and get that extra confidence.com. That's blue, like the color blue.
BlueChew brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis.
Now, you can take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach, so you can be ready whenever an opportunity arises.
Not only that, BlueChew is made in the USA. It's prescribed online by licensed physicians, so you don't have to go to the doctor or wait in line. It's even cheaper than a pharmacy, and they prepare and ship it right to you in a discreet package. No awkwardness, and you don't even have to leave the house.
Now, if you could benefit from more confidence where it counts, BlueChew is the fast and easy way to enhance your performance. Guys, this isn't me reading ad copy here. This is Jonny Fairplay. When he knows action is about to go down, I grab the BlueChew, I peel it open, chew it up, and I go, get ready, we're going to Pound Town. Someone is going over. Someone is winning a championship tonight. That's right. And that could be you, because right now we've got a special deal for our listeners. Visit BlueChew.com and get your first shipment free when you use our special promo code SURVIVOR. Just pay the $5 shipping. Again, that's BlueChew.com, BlueChew.com. Use promo code SURVIVOR to try it for free. BlueChew is the better, cheaper choice, and we thank them for sponsoring the podcast. And remember, when you support our sponsors, you help this podcast be possible. So please use our promo code SURVIVOR at BlueChew.com.